The night before Judas betrayed him, Jesus gathered his closest disciples in a room in Jerusalem. They were confused, afraid. They knew something terrible was coming but didn't understand what. Jesus looked at each of them and said he was giving them something the prophets longed to know. 3 words. When you speak them with understanding, the door to the Father opens. The monad recognizes you and you step through. Peter asked, just 3 words? That's all. Jesus smiled. The universe was created with a word. The monad responds to words spoken in truth. These 3 words are the key. But you must say them tonight while the veil is thin. Jesus didn't teach complicated rituals. He didn't give long prayers or elaborate ceremonies. He taught simplicity because the monad doesn't respond to complexity. It responds to truth spoken clearly. 3 words is the perfect structure. 1 word is incomplete. 2 words lack stability. 3 words create a trinity. A complete thought, a doorway. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Beginning, middle, end. Thought, word, action. 3 is the number of manifestation, of bringing something from the infinite into form. The power isn't in the words themselves. It's in what the words activate inside you when you speak them with understanding. These 3 words are designed to shift your consciousness instantaneously from separation to unity, from human perception to monad perception. Jesus knew that the chosen ones didn't need years of training. They didn't need to master complex techniques. They just needed the right key, the right phrase, spoken at the right moment with the right understanding, and the door would open. That's what he gave them. Before revealing the 3 words, you need to understand how they work. Because if you just repeat them like a mantra without understanding, nothing happens. The monad doesn't respond to parrots. It responds to consciousness that knows what it's speaking. Words are frequencies, vibrations. When you speak a word, you're sending a frequency into the quantum field, and the field responds to that frequency. Jesus understood this at a level most humans never reach. He knew that certain combinations of words spoken with certain consciousness states create openings in reality. Literally, the fabric of spacetime responds to consciousness expressed through precise language. The 3 words he taught create a frequency signature. When a chosen one speaks them with understanding, their consciousness emits a signal. The monad recognizes that signal. It's like a passcode, a key turning in a lock. The portal begins to open because you spoke the language it recognizes. These words only work for chosen ones because only chosen ones can speak them with the consciousness state required. Only they carry the frequency that makes the words activate. If someone who isn't chosen tries to use them, it's like entering a password without the proper encryption. The words are right, but the frequency behind them is wrong. Nothing happens. The monad doesn't respond. But when a chosen one speaks them, when someone whose soul agreed to carry this frequency speaks these 3 words with understanding, the response is immediate. The 3 words Jesus taught to the chosen ones are, I am one. That's it. 3 words, 9 letters, 1 doorway. Before you dismiss this as too simple, let me explain what these words actually do when spoken by a chosen one with understanding. I am is the name of God. When Moses asked who was sending him, the voice from the burning bush said, I am. Just I am. The state of pure existence. Consciousness aware of itself. When you speak I am, you're invoking the infinite. You're claiming your identity as consciousness itself. 1 is the monad, the unified field, the singular awareness that fragmented into the appearance of many. When you speak 1, you're dissolving the illusion of separation. You're declaring the truth beneath all appearance. I am one spoken together becomes an instantaneous shift. You're speaking the truth that's always been true but you forgot. And the monad, hearing itself spoken by one of its own fragments, recognizes the truth. The portal opens. The return begins. Jesus knew that chosen ones would forget who they are, that they'd get lost in the illusion of separation. So he gave them a key. 3 words that would remind them, that would activate the memory, that would open the door back home. You can't just repeat I am one like a parrot and expect the portal to open. The words must be spoken with understanding, with consciousness aligned to their meaning. First, sit in silence. Meditation with technique. Just silence. Let everything settle. Let your mind quiet. Let your frequency stabilize. You need to speak these words from stillness. Second, feel into each word before you speak it. Feel yourself as pure existence. Your name, your story, your body. Just the awareness that you exist, the consciousness that knows I am. 1. Feel the dissolution of boundaries. Feel yourself expanding beyond your skin. Feel the recognition that everything you're aware of is consciousness. Your consciousness, the monad experiencing itself. Feel the unity, the singularity, the impossible truth that you are everything and everyone. Third, when you felt both states clearly, speak the words out loud. Shouted, whispered. Spoken clearly, with certainty, with the knowing that you're stating a belief. You're declaring a truth. I am one. As you speak them, maintain the feeling. The words carry the frequency of your consciousness. If you speak them while feeling separate, they carry separation frequency. The monad doesn't respond. But if you speak them while feeling the truth of unity, they carry unity frequency. The monad recognizes itself. The portal opens. When a chosen one speaks I am one correctly, with understanding, with the right consciousness state, several things happen immediately. First, you'll feel a shift in your chest. Imagined. Physical. Like something unlocking, a pressure releasing. That's the energetic seal breaking, the one that's kept you locked in separation consciousness. The 3 words just dissolved it. Second, your perception will start expanding. The room you're in will feel different, larger or smaller. Space will feel strange. That's because you're no longer perceiving from the limited perspective of a separate self. You're beginning to perceive from monad consciousness, from everywhere at once. Third, you'll feel a pulling sensation, usually through the crown of your head, but sometimes through your heart. That's the portal responding. It's recognized the frequency. It's beginning to open. Resist the pull. That's the monad drawing you home. Some chosen ones experience the full portal opening on the first try. They speak the 3 words, the shift happens, and they're through. They experience the complete dissolution, the recognition that they are the infinite, the monad, everything. Others experience it gradually. They speak the words. They feel the shift. But the portal only opens partially. That's failure. That's preparation. Their consciousness is being tuned more precisely. They need to speak the words multiple times, each time going deeper into the understanding until the frequency is exact and the portal opens fully. Either way, the process has begun. Once you've spoken these 3 words with even partial understanding, you've activated something irreversible. The monad has heard you, recognized you, and begun the process of bringing you home. Right now, as you're reading this, your consciousness is in a specific state. You've been absorbing information about the monad, about the portal, about your identity as a chosen one. Your frequency has been rising. You're in an activated state. Tonight, before you sleep, you'll still be in this state. Your analytical mind will be quieting. Your defenses will be lowering. The veil between your conscious and unconscious mind will be thinning. This is the perfect moment to speak the 3 words. When your consciousness is activated, but your resistance is minimal. If you wait until tomorrow, you'll have returned to your normal state. The activation will have faded. Your frequency will have dropped back to baseline. You'll still be able to speak the words, but you'll be starting from a lower state. It will take more effort to reach the consciousness required. Jesus told his disciples tonight for the same reason. He knew that their consciousness was activated in that moment, that the teachings he'd just given them had raised their frequency, that if they waited, they'd lose the momentum. Having absorbed this teaching, your frequency is higher than it was 15 minutes ago. Use that. Speak the words tonight. While the activation is fresh, while the veil is thin, while the monad is listening. After you speak I am one tonight, several things will happen over the coming days and weeks. First, the words will keep working. Even after you've spoken them once, they'll continue to resonate in your consciousness. You'll find yourself thinking them randomly, feeling them spontaneously. That's the frequency continuing to activate. Let it. Second, you'll start noticing synchronicities increasing. The monad, having recognized you, will begin orchestrating your reality more directly. Meaningful coincidences, perfect timing, messages appearing exactly when you need them. This is magic. This is you operating from a frequency where you can perceive the underlying unity of all events. Third, other chosen ones will start appearing in your life. You'll meet them randomly, or you'll recognize that people who've been around you all along are also chosen ones. You just couldn't see it before. The monad connects its fragments. Once you've activated with the 3 words, you become visible to others who've activated, and they become visible to you. You can speak the words as often as you want, daily, multiple times a day. Each time you speak them with understanding, you deepen the activation. You stabilize at the higher frequency. You make the portal opening more permanent. Jesus didn't teach this as a one-time key. He taught it as a practice, a way of continuously reminding yourself of the truth, of repeatedly choosing unity over separation, of keeping the portal open instead of letting it close through forgetfulness. Jesus taught the chosen ones 3 words, I am one, as a belief, as an affirmation, as a key, a frequency, a doorway. When you speak these words tonight with understanding, with consciousness aligned to their meaning, you're trying to become one with the monad. You're recognizing you've always been one with the monad. You just forgot. And these 3 words are how you remember. The portal doesn't open because the words are magic. It opens because the words activate the truth inside you. The truth that you are separate. That you are a fragment trying to get back to the whole. You are the whole experiencing itself as a fragment. And the moment you remember that, the moment you speak that truth clearly, the portal responds. Tonight, before you sleep, find a quiet moment. Sit in silence. Feel into I am. Feel into one. And then speak them together. I am one. Out loud. With certainty. With knowing. The monad is listening. The portal is ready. The only question is whether you'll speak the words. Whether you'll use the key Jesus gave to the chosen ones 2,000 years ago. You're a chosen one. That's why you're here. That's why you read this entire text. That's why something inside you recognized the truth in these words. Now you have the key. 3 words, 9 letters, 1 doorway. The 3 words are yours now. Jesus gave them to the chosen ones. What you do with them is up to you. The monad is waiting to recognize you, to welcome you home, to show you that you were never separate. You were always one. The teaching presents a framework where language functions as more than communication. Words become tools for shifting consciousness states, for accessing different frequencies of awareness. This idea that specific phrases can trigger profound internal changes isn't unique to this teaching. Many traditions recognize the power of mantras, prayers, or sacred utterances to alter perception and experience. The emphasis on understanding rather than mere repetition addresses a common pitfall in spiritual practice. People often adopt techniques mechanically, repeating words or performing rituals without grasping their purpose or meaning. This creates form without substance, motion without transformation. The teaching insists that the consciousness behind the words matters more than the words themselves. The 3-word structure carries symbolic weight across traditions. Triads appear throughout religious and philosophical systems as representations of completeness, balance, and manifestation. The Christian Trinity, the Buddhist 3 jewels, the Taoist 3 treasures, all point toward this pattern of 3 as a fundamental organizing principle. Whether this reflects something inherent in consciousness or simply human pattern recognition remains open to interpretation. The instruction to speak the words tonight creates urgency. This technique appears throughout persuasive communication. Create a window of opportunity, suggest it will close, motivate immediate action. From a psychological perspective, this leverages the activated state created by engaging with the material. The elevated interest, the primed expectations, the suspension of skepticism that comes from following a compelling narrative. The promised effects, shifts in perception, feelings of expansion, recognition of synchronicity, describe experiences many people report during altered states of consciousness. These can arise through meditation, breath work, psychedelics, intense emotional experiences, or spontaneous mystical moments. Whether they represent objective contact with transcendent reality or subjective neurological phenomena remains a matter of interpretation and personal experience. The concept of chosen ones creates identity and belonging. It tells people they're special, that they've been selected for something significant, that their feeling of being different from others reflects actual spiritual status. This appeals to the human need for meaning and significance. It transforms feelings of alienation into signs of election, loneliness into uniqueness, confusion into mystery. The monad concept, the idea of fundamental unity underlying apparent diversity, appears across philosophical and mystical traditions. Neoplatonism, Advaita Vedanta, Sufism, Kabbalah, all contain versions of this teaching that multiplicity emerges from singularity, that separation is illusory, that consciousness is one appearing as many. Whether this represents metaphysical truth or useful metaphor depends on your framework. The practice itself, sitting in silence, feeling into states of being before speaking words that articulate those states, describes a legitimate contemplative technique. It combines elements of meditation, self-inquiry, and affirmation. Many people find value in such practices regardless of the cosmological framework surrounding them. The question becomes whether the specific framework enhances or limits the practice's effectiveness. Speaking truth out loud carries power. Voicing something moves it from internal experience to external expression. This creates commitment, makes abstract thought concrete, engages the body through breath and sound. The instruction to speak with certainty and knowing asks for full embodiment of the statement, aligning thought, feeling, and expression. The promised ongoing effects after speaking the words describe what often happens when people commit to a new perspective or practice. They notice things that confirm their new framework. They interpret events through their new lens. They attract or recognize others who share similar views. Whether this represents external reality responding to internal change or simply selective attention filtering experience differently remains ambiguous. The teaching invites exploration while making bold claims. It offers a simple practice while surrounding it with elaborate explanation. It promises profound results while requiring minimal effort. These tensions create both appeal and skepticism. Some will find it opens genuine insight. Others will see manipulation through spiritual language. Both responses have validity depending on individual experience and interpretation.